Good evening and welcome to EBN Prime Edition tonight, the 14th of July 2023. The opposition has announced that they will be back on the streets come next week for 3 consecutive days. President William Ruto has also vowed that no anti-government demonstrations will take place in the country. Well, to what benefit does this kind of chest thumping between the president and the opposition help us, the common mwananchi? Well, we shall be telling you about this and many more right here. Remember, my name is Sammy Adika. Get in touch with us through our socials at EBN TV and at Sammy Adika. And now taking a look on what has been making headlines tonight, with Azimio la Umoja issuing a statement that they will be back on the street on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday next week. President William Ruto has stood his ground that he will not allow the opposition embark on their anti-government demonstrations. Expressing confidence in his leadership, Ruto has told Odinga to wait for the 2027 general elections, which he said he will win against Odinga.
Maandamano juzi watu 8 wakakufa. Mimi nataka niwaulize, mnataka tuendelee na hii maandamano? Mnataka tuendelee na hii maandamano? Mimi nataka niwaambie, maandamano haiwezi tena kufanyika katika hii taifa letu la Kenya. Hiyo wanasema Wednesday, hiyo wanasema sijui lini. Hiyo maandamano haiwezekani. Haiwezekani. Mtu huyu wa kitendawili alilete fujo, akalete mapinduzi, watu wakakufa kule nyuma. Akakuja akaangaisha mzee Kibaki, mara choo, mara sijui nini, mara carpet. Mpaka mzee akashindwa kufanya, akafanya kazi, lakini kazi hiyo haikuendelea vile ilikuwa inatakikana. Ndio huyo amekuja akachanganya Uhuru, ile mambo yetu ya Big Four ikapotea, tukaenda BBI sijui nini nini, mpaka tukaingia madeni. Saa hii tuko na deni ya 9 trillion. Saa hii amekuja hapa tena, ndio huyu ameanzisha fujo. Amelete fujo, muliona vile mali iliharibika Nairobi. Mkaona vile watu wamelete vijana wamelipwa wafanye fujo. Mnataka tuendelee hiyo barabara? Ati wanataka kutulazimisha ati tuwagawie serikali. Mimi nataka niwaulize jameni, mnataka tena serikali ile ya handshake ya kusumbuana na ukora na ujinga? Bana. Hiyo haiwezekani. Hiyo haiwezekani. Na mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa Nakuru, jameni, wacha niwaulize. Mpango tuko naye ya hawa vijana. Tayari ile ajira tumeleta ya walimu. Niliwaahidi ya kwamba tutapanga hii kazi na kazi hii itasonga mbele. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie. Mimi nitakaa ngumu. Hawa nitawakalia ngumu. Kwa sababu Kenya ni yetu sisi zote, Kenya si ya maandamano. Na tunataka hawa watu wa maandamano watuambie, ili maandamano isemekana imefaulu, watu wangapi wanapaswa kukufa? Watu mali kiasi gani inapaswa kuharibika? Maafa kiasi gani inafaa kuwa imefanyika? That we will not accept.
And still on matters promoting peace in the country, religious leaders drawn from different organizations across the country are now calling on President William Ruto to consider putting forth a positive solution towards the recently witnessed unrest in the country. The leaders want President William Ruto to hold talks with the opposition in a bid to promote the development of the country. The leaders have also asked Azimio One Kenya leader Raila Odinga to reconsider the proposed mass action program and embrace dialogue.
Your Excellency, the President Ruto and Honorable Odinga, we appeal to you both to stop cutting Kenya into two. Do not lead this country on a path of suicide. We urge you to lead your coalitions in engaging in bipartisan talks that are genuinely intended to finding a solution to the recruitment of commissioners for the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission and other knee issues. We once again appeal that your administration repeals the Finance Bill 2023 so as to review the heavy taxation burden it imposes on Kenyans.
Right Honorable Odinga, we recognize the cardinal position you hold in our nation as a leader of the opposition. We now appeal to you to overhaul the tactical approach adopted by the Azimio La Umoja coalition, recognizing that the current push for mass action is pushing the country into insurrection.
Since we are all hurting from the high cost of living, our best approach is to embrace non-violence as we demand for better laws and policies. Let us all resist the incitement and provocation to engage in violence and destruction, which will destroy who we are and that our nation stands.
And on the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has called on the government to stop threatening that it will arrest top Azimio leaders, noting that this would cause significant damage, yet businesses are currently struggling. KNCCI has noted that Azimio protests are crumbling the country's economy, and it is time for the Kenya Kwanza government to speak to Azimio and find solutions to the issues raised instead of engaging in a cold war that is causing tension in the country.
These leaders are having people who are behind them, and these are sensitive matter. Let's not deal with it through chest thumping. Let's deal with it via amicable ways. Let's have reason penetrate in our minds and in our hearts. Let's use love instead of law. Should I say that? No. I don't want to say that love should substitute the law, but let's use law in love. Thank you. That is the word that I was looking for. Let us use the law, but in love. Yes. Let us not use a competitive way of judgment that we are the ones who are powerful than you, or we are the ones in power, so we will arrest you. No, no, no. If I was to be asked, I would rather, instead of arresting the leaders, let us have a dialogue. And
now moving to Siaya County, embattled Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduol returned to his office today afternoon to a mixed reception by the county staff and the local residents. After spending about 2 hours in his office, Oduol embarked on a tour of Siaya town with members of the public in tow. Addressing the public at Siaya Municipal Market, Oduol called on Orengo, the county governor, to put aside their differences and instead join forces and ensure that the residents get better service.
Today, I decided to officially report to my office. I reported in the early afternoon. I was in my office for about 2 hours. And what I decided to do is I just wanted to make a normal, quiet visit to my office. And then I'm going to, next week, have a Thanksgiving session. And I'm going to invite people from all walks of life, particularly those from Siaya County, to come and fellowship and worship with me, thanking God for this far we have come. The rallying call that I am making as the Deputy Governor of Siaya County is that the Senate made its determination on my impeachment proceedings at the Senate in Nairobi. I want to implore and plead with Governor James Orengo that we need to put our differences aside. What is important is service delivery to the people of Siaya County. We had a proper, robust 9-point manifesto. We need to deliver on the 9-point manifesto that we promised the people of Siaya. Issues to do with water, issues to do with medicine in health centers and hospitals, issues to do with bursary for bright, deserving children, issues to do with youth and women empowerment, and to bring us together so that in a very accelerated basis, we are able to embark on the journey of transforming this beautiful county of ours called Siaya County.
And on matters health, over 800 health workers in Busia County have downed their tolls, citing negligence from the county government. This follows the lapse of a 14-day strike notice to the county government of Busia. The health workers have claimed that their efforts to meet Governor Paul Otuoma to discuss issues affecting the healthcare system had failed, leaving them with no option other than going to the streets. Among the issues KMPDU once addressed in the county is failure of the county to promote doctors and increase their pay despite numerous promises.
Right now in our wards, we have 4 patients per bed. We don't have food. The commodities are not there. The healthcare workers' rights and environment is compromised, and everyone is comfortable about it. So we as union leaders have said enough is enough. And now we are going on strike until they come in and give us solutions.
Since the county government has gone on strike for us, now we are going on strike. We all go on strike. Let them strike. Let us strike. We shall meet there in the strike, and maybe a solution will come out of there. Because it seems the language which the county government understands most is the industrial actions.
We all know the medical department is a very sensitive unit, and that those who are likely to suffer if the staff go on strike are really the innocent citizens of this county, and we are trying to avert that. That's why we are urging them that we continue to consult. What we have agreed we are going to do, we are going to.
And now on matters security, Interior CS Kithure Kindiki has announced that he will be going after each and every culprit linked to the recent violence witnessed along the Transmara border. Kindiki has directed security agencies to apprehend all persons, including politicians, who are inciting and funding violence. The government has established a general service unit camp at the Nkararo Enosaen cut line following a spate of violence attacks over the border dispute. The Ministry of Interior is set to aid resolve the existing historical grievances, including land disputes, in a peaceful manner that is within the law.
Nayo ni kwamba yes, tuweke silaha chini, lakini vile vile rudisheni silaha haramu kwa serikali. Msiporudisha tutachukua. There is no problem. Msiporudisha tutakuja kuchukua. Tuko na askari wa kutosha katika Kenya hii, wa jeshi la polisi, na tukiona ya kwamba tunahitaji nguvu zaidi, kwa sababu nyinyi sio wa kwanza. Kuna watu wengine wajeuri walikuwa miaka mingi wamejifanya mashujaa kule Rift Valley kaskazini, wezi wa ng'ombe, wale mabandits. Kwa wanafanya ujeuri, wanaingia maporomokoni huko, wanajificha. Kama hapa nasikia kuna mahali mnaenda hapo kujificha. I am going to gazette that area as a disturbed and dangerous area, and you know what that means. You know what that means. Wale wakora walikuwa naiba ng'ombe huko Elgeyo Marakwet, Samburu, sijui nini. Tumewafinya kidogo, tumewazimia taa. Hata kama bado safari hatujafika mwisho, tumezima taa. Mahali walikuwa wanajificha, tumeingia pale, tumewaondoa. Na unajua njia za kuondoa mhalifu ni nyingi. Italingana na kama ni mhalifu angetaka kujisalimisha, ama ni mhalifu anataka kupigana na silaha ati ajaribu kupigana na afisa wetu wa usalama. So you choose. Ile
And still on matters securing the country's border, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale earlier today visited hotspots along the Kenya-Somalia border following renewed attacks by Al-Shabaab militants. The Ministries of Interior and Defense vowed to crush the assailants who have staged attacks in northeastern and coastal regions in the recent past. The attacks forced Kenya to push the reopening of the Somali border Despite the two governments having agreed in May this year to reopen within 90 days several border posts, including Mandera, Liboi and Kiunga, that have been closed since the year 2011 following Al-Shabaab attacks.
Na mimi nataka nishukuru wakuu wa security hapa Kenya wakiongozwa na DCC wetu na meja wetu mkubwa wa hii kambi ya jeshi. Mimi sina kazi nyingine. Mimi nimekuja kueleza hawa wananchi ya kwamba tumeanza vita dhidi ya Al-Shabaab. And we are not hiding. The Kenyan Defense Forces have a constitutional obligation to protect lives and property and the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. And we will fight Al-Shabaab along our borders. We will fight and take the war to them in Somalia, because even in Somalia, Kenya is an anchor state. It has a moral responsibility to bring peace and security along the countries of the Horn of Africa. So I am sure I am talking to the leadership of Al-Shabaab, wherever they are. Prepare yourself. We will use our land forces. We will use our air force. We will use our navy. We will use our special forces to hunt you down.
Well, that will be taking us to a short commercial break. Don't go too far. We shall be right back with many more stories.
From Nairobi, Kenya. This is EBN TV.
Before Christ went, he told us, go out into the world, preach this gospel, and make disciples, because it is the heartbeat of God. And that's what EBN is all about. Hi, my name is Fred Njiri. Now, some of you may be wondering now, who in the world is this? While others may be saying, I've seen that guy before. True. I've been on your screens for the last almost 25 years. Well, there's more to life than just, work and stuff. And now I'm with Ecclesia Broadcasting Network. And one of the things that we are doing is ensuring that the message of the kingdom goes out, because that's the greatest commission that we've been given. Before Christ went, he told us, go out into the world, preach this gospel, and make disciples, because it is the heartbeat of God. And that's what EBN is all about. We want to make sure that as many people as possible can hear this gospel before Jesus comes. This gospel is so close to my heart because I know how important it is to live this world knowing Christ. I've lost 3 relatives. My sister, my kid who may be saved, may just be your brother or your sister for that matter, or even yourself. God bless you.
You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Now taking a look on matters that have been taking place today along the corridors of justice. 4 persons who had been charged over the 3.5 billion Kenya shillings Anglo leasing scandal are now free. The four, Deepak Kamani, Rashmi Kamani, former PS Treasury Joseph Magari, and former PS Office of President Dev Mwangi, have been cleared of Anglo-leasing charges. This is after the trial magistrate Martha Motuku said that the prosecution had failed to prove the case against all the accused persons. The prosecution has alleged that between October 30th, 2003 and April 14th, 2004, the accused persons conspired with others to engage in a scheme to defraud the government of Kenya 3.5 billion Kenya shillings through a supplier's credit contract agreement for the modernization of the police security equipment and accessory projects. Well, the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, is advocating for involvement of men in the fight against female genital mutilation, FGM. Speaking at the C20 Gender Equality Working Group event, Pastor Dorcas said a society engaging men and boys has been considered vital for achieving gender equality by C20 Working Group. The forum was organized by Math Charitable Trust Kenya, an affiliation of Embracing the World, together with the C20 Working Group on Gender Equality.
Boys are at higher risk of being recruited into extremist group and gangs. Civil society actors in Kenya have made efforts towards amplifying gender-sensitive approaches by involving men and boys in the fight against gender-based violence. To tackle sexual and gender-based violence, I believe the empowerment of the boys, men and men, can greatly reduce the occurrences. I propose a more deliberate effort in parenting children who respect each other from early age, regardless of their gender. Empowered men and women bring up stronger families in line with the G20 theme of one earth and one family.
I really and sincerely hope that we can also contribute in that context to G20 work. Just to finalize, I heard that, of course, Africa wants to become a member of the G20 beyond South Africa, and the EU has just decided that it will support the membership of the AU in the G20.
And now taking a look on sports, KCB Football Club has announced that the appointment of Bernard Mwalala as the club's new head coach. Mwalala, a former Kenyan international, joins KCB from Ulinzi Stars, where he led the team to a 4th place finish in the Football Kenya Federation Cup and a 9th place finish in the league. Mwalala has a wealth of experience in Kenyan football, having previously coached Kakamega Homeboys, Bandari and Nzoia Sugar. He is also no stranger to success, having led Bandari to the Domestic Cup in the year 2019 and reached the CAF Confederation Cup playoff in 2019-2020.
Very happy for the management of KCB for trusting me, believing in me. I think it's a new challenge for me, and I think it's a good challenge in our career. Going forward, I think the club has the mission, the club has a vision, and also the goal. And I'm aware of everything about KCB. So going forward, I think all will be good. Kwangu kitu kubwa sana kama coach ni kuleta watu wote pamoja. Hiyo naongelea management, naongelea mashabiki, wachezaji na technical bench yangu. Nadhani kwanza tuwe kama familia na tulete undugu, tulete urafiki. Kubwa zaidi ni pia tufanye kazi kwa umoja.
Well, that marks the end of EBN Prime Edition tonight. Many thanks for tuning in. Once again, I'm Sammy Adika, and many thanks also for your interaction through our socials at EBN TV and at Sammy Adika. I do wish you a fantastic weekend ahead. Have yourselves a beautiful night.